It's time for the Loco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
Nope, it's just me and Marcus Walsh's ceiling.
That's right. I was gonna take my charger out, but I don't have to. I can wait.
Max and Wes will
It's-
be joining us in due time. I think Max should be due home any minute now. We left Battery Creek around the same time. He had a little longer drive. Wes was still finishing things up at the Nest on day one of the Seahawk Holiday Classic, and right on time. There comes Max. Here he come. There that
There you
man.
go.
There he is. So
What's up,
Max is
buddy?
right behind me,
Okay.
coming in hot from Battery Creek, where the finals are set, and it is Hilton Head Prep against May River. Going to be a very
Wow.
interesting matchup tomorrow night. Hilton Head Prep had a pretty tough back and forth game with Brooklyn Casey. Pulled it out. Ty Harpering was unreal. 35 points, 10 boards tonight.
That kid can play.
Oh, he really can. He looks like his uncle too, man. If you're old enough to remember Matt Harpering,
I am.
he evokes a lot of the same things. So look at a little bit smaller version of his uncle. He was a little
Right.
bigger, but
Yeah.
he's a spitting image of him, and he can play, man. He can play at all levels. So that was a fun game. And then May River put a hurting on Battery Creek tonight.
They did.
Now,
For
one
a little
caveat:
bit, I
Battery
saw.
Creek was without Ethan Cox, who has been their leading scorer and probably their most important player, in that he's a really tough matchup for people. He's really long wing who can shoot it from the outside, play inside, defend in the paint, defend on the perimeter. So I think they're a lot different team without him. And I think that matchup would look differently at full strength. But I was really impressed with May River, and most impressive is that before the game, I said, "Hey, coach," to Kyle Bennett, "Hey, you guys are looking good," and he was like, nah, we stink," so that tells you that he's not satisfied, and so they're not going to be satisfied. So I think they're going to keep getting better, and I think they're going to be a problem. They look good.
I completely agree. And basketball's a long season. I was actually talking to Wayne Morris tonight. We had our WHHI holiday party and saw Wayne, and we were talking hoops because he saw that on Facebook that I was out and about at some gyms and whatnot. And he was saying, yeah, it seems like the seasons are just getting longer and longer, and they're filling up more. He was talking a little bit about Wilson Hall and how much they've played already. I plan on seeing them against JP2 right after the new year, and so just to scout JP2 again and get an idea of them. And Wilson Hall's a pretty good program in their own right from the little bit that I've heard too. So it's funny how coaches talk about that in that way, but it's all about early season trying to hype up their team, but also make sure that the bulletin board material, that type of thing, doesn't get too out there for them to start thinking that they're everything when
Right.
they've just been playing for a few weeks. So I completely get
Yeah.
where he's coming from on that. And we've talked a lot about our connection, JJ, you and I, with that style of basketball that Kyle Bennett brings. And I
Mhm.
can tell you something that when I started getting involved in high school basketball, when I was in high school as our team manager, our head coach, Rob Toth, he did the same thing. And he
Mhm.
was of the same mind. And I think, that's why I have such confidence in Kyle Bennett, having seen him and been around him a little bit. I think May River is going to only get better. And again, both teams, the girls as well, I think they're both only going to get better. And I think they're
Yeah.
both going to make a serious run in 6-4A. Give it a little bit of time, get through the new year and all the holiday celebrations, and then they'll really be kicking it into gear
Yeah.
once region play starts. But they're off to a great start. Both teams are.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. I mean that prep team, we've said it before. That prep team is always going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they
No doubt.
surely are this year. And the greatest thing for them, I think, is that this is probably going to be some of the hardest basketball they play right
Oh
now
yeah.
because their region schedule not very strong. This is probably this is probably the strongest competition they will play this year, apart from the game against Bluffton. This is
Well,
probably
and
the strongest
next week,
and as well as
Bobcat
the
Classic
Bobcat
too.
Classic. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I forgot they're in the Bobcat Classic next week, and that's
Yep.
going to be a challenge too. But this team is showing that, while they may not have the physical strength or talent to compete with some of these public school teams, they know how to play good basketball, and that's what's gotten them wins. And they can shoot the ball too.
I'll
So
tell you what,
you know,
it started a little shaky for him tonight because Brooklyn Casey was big and athletic and wanted to push the pace a little more than Prep's usually comfortable with, and so it took a little while to settle in. But once they did, I was worried for them because they only go about 8 deep, and they usually only run about 6. And Brooklyn Casey had a deep bench and a lot of size, and I really thought that might get to Prep in the second half, but they did what they do. They went on a couple of spurts where they just took over for 2 or 3 minutes and put up a bunch of points in a short span. And then, it was just a fight down the stretch. And every time Brooklyn Casey kind of got back in it or cut the gap a little bit, Prep would come back and get a couple buckets. And Harpering was just huge. He was phenomenal tonight. I talked with John Drafts, the longtime Battery Creek coach, who this is now named for, John Draft's Battery Creek Classic, and he was really blown away by Harpering, and we talked about how much he looks like his uncle and plays like his uncle,
yeah,
and he's something else.
yeah, he really is. He is such a well-rounded, well-balanced player, and it's so much fun to watch him, dude. Whenever he gets that ball, he gets the job done, and he's really really fun to watch. Um, but this prep team, like we say, they like to be slow paced. They like to move that ball around as much as they can to find the best open shot. And that's what they're best at. And some of the teams in this area are starting to kind of emulate in their own way how Hilton Head Prep plays basketball because
Yep.
it
Yep.
works. It does
That's a
the
good
job.
point.
Um, May River actually, May River does kind of a prep kind of
They're
offense
similar. Yeah, they're
their own
similar.
way. Yeah, there's some of it there. They're much more fast paced than prep is, but they kind of use that, pass the ball around, see if you can find an open man, take the shot or go in for a layup. And Christian Academy, like we've said before, Hilton Head Christian has started to play that kind of basketball as well, where they move the ball around to see if they can find an open three or someone inside and get a inside bucket. So this prep team's got it figured out. So well coached. Such great shooters too. I mean, yeah, what a shot. And this team, when they get hot, it's dangerous against anyone. No one is safe from this prep team when they get on a streak.
Yeah. Well, they got a bunch of dudes who can stroke it.
Oh,
And
for sure,
I mean, just
absolutely.
everybody's a point guard and everybody who can shoot the three, except for
Right.
the couple of bigs that play inside. But no, it's system basketball executed to its finest, and it's impressive. Um, I was looking up a few scores here. Buford girls with a 39-17 win over Whale Branch, uh, and Hilton Head lost 42-27 to Sumter. The girls in the Seahawk Holiday Classic. We'll keep tracking down some scores here, and Wes will be joining us in a bit
I do
with
have another
updates
score for
from the
me.
Seahawk Holiday Classic. What do you
Yeah,
got?
I do have another score. The Hilton Head boys lost tonight 62-54 against Westminster.
Oh,
I saw that.
Yeah,
62-54. They had a decent lead and then gave up a 13-0 run, right?
yeah, 13-0 run,
Mm,
man. That's tough. That's a tough way
I
to
was
lose a
hurt.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our boys Fish and Rob are out in Savannah tonight watching some big time hoops over there. The boys in Savannah play a different kind of basketball.
Yeah, they play some different ball, man.
Doesn't really look like the basketball we see over here. They got six
No.
eights that can score at all levels, and they got guys hanging off the rims, and it's a little different over there. We got to raise the bar here in the Loco, but we'll tell you more about all the stuff going on around the Loco as we watch these Hilton Head Prep Brooklyn Casey highlights from Buford Zone, and we'll have more highlights from all the games in the BC Classic tonight from Buford's Own. As we go along, but this show tonight, the Loco Sports Lowdown, presented by Mickelson Law Firm, our original sponsor, our all-star sponsor. They support everything we do. They support all things local sports around the Loco, and we're proud to have them as our all-star sponsor. They're also our official real estate closing attorney and presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage. And you can call on them for all your legal needs right in downtown Bluffton. Mickelson Law Firm. We've also got our MVP sponsors, Base Hit Life. Max is back in his Base Hit Life Calm Your Mitts hoodie tonight. I saw him at the Crick sporting it, repping Base Hit Life. You can get yours or check out all their great hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and other accessories and apparel over at basehitlife.com and live your best base hit life. We've also got homegrown home inspections, best home inspectors in the Loco, especially if you're building a new home. You got to have that phased inspection where they'll check on it every step of the way and make sure it's built right with homegrown home inspections. And finally, Hospice Care of the Lowcountry is now part of Mirasol Health. You might have seen that on WHHI TV. James Disman, Jimmy Diamond was on the WHHI News the other day talking about the transition, and they'll still be providing the same great services and much more at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, now part of Mirasol Health. It's still not about dying there, though. It's about living.
That's
I
true.
can't
And
do that. They may have a new slogan, though, so we got to get with Jimmy Diamond on some new ad copy.
big shout out to Robin Zimmerman, colleague of mine. I obviously am with Robin a bunch on Talk of the Town, talking football, basketball, etc. She does the news on Tuesdays and other interviews, and is out and about getting the big time news, whether for the news or other shows that WHHI airs. And she has a great relationship with James, and James is always for the people, getting the information out to us as much as he can and as quickly as he can. He's always great about doing that, and great stuff with the company that he is still in charge of after all these years. And they've got a great one in Jimmy Diamond over there
Oh, yeah.
at Mirasol Health.
A diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not a diamond in the rough anymore.
No, they've polished him up now. He's
Special
the
guy
real deal.
for
He's the
sure.
real deal, man. I've known him since he was back at Boys and Girls Club, and just a
Right,
great guy
that's
with a
that's where I
big
met him
heart.
too.
Yep, great guy with a big heart, but doing big things.
Absolutely.
Um, anyway, let's get back to a little hoops. Other games in this tournament, as we watch the Hilton Head Prep highlights here. Tonight, Buford Academy fell to Military Magnet, fairly lopsided. They will face Easley in the seventh place game tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Fort Dorchester and Military Magnet for fifth place. That'll be later on in the day. And then it'll be Hilton Head Prep and May River for the championship. Brooklyn, Casey, and Battery Creek for the third place game. And let me look at the schedule here. Seventh place game at 1, third place game at 2:30, fifth place game at 4, championship game at 5:30 tomorrow over at Battery Creek. And those are more reasonable windows than the hour 15s they were presented for the last 2 days. Those are not realistic. Hour 15 window ain't working. That's like college
Yeah,
football in a 3-hour window. No chance.
right.
Here's a fun
Especially this
one.
time of year.
In the stripes tonight, I was like, wait, that guy looks familiar. One of the refs. It was Toby Colella, aka
Yeah,
DJ
DJ
Styles, the man
Styles.
who plays the music at the HHCA baseball games. Now also an official. So go figure.
Yeah, he was
And,
officiating the Hilton Head Prep
what's up,
Bluffton game
Javon?
a couple Saturdays ago. He was one of the refs in that game. And I was like, "Yo, what's up, DJ?" And
He looks the part.
so,
Looks the
yeah, he
part.
does look the part. He really does.
I'll have to
The
look
the
for him
refs were on him, or the
some
fans
more
were on him
action.
tonight. Brooklyn Casey fans. It was all his fault that they. No, it was all the refs' fault that they lost the prep.
Of course.
And Toby, whose son
Like,
used to go to JP2 and now goes to HHCA, said, "Yeah, because I love prep so much." It's just funny. It's just funny how people think things.
It's really
It's always
funny.
the refs' fault. Yeah,
unreal.
Creek started out okay.
And it
May
just
River was
fell
hot
apart.
from 3 early,
Yeah,
but then May River
May
just
River
started
just got on a
turning them
roll.
over.
Yeah, they got on a roll real quick.
And I'll tell you, May River's kind of prep light. Like you said, they play that motion offense, cutting.
Yeah, they do.
dribble in, kick it back out. They make their open threes. They're not going to be a fun team to play.
No.
And they're deep. He's running a bunch of guys, so they can go hard on D.
I mean, yeah, this is kind of a prep, but more fast paced and more moving around. Really,
Yeah,
like
and
they move
Prep
around
played up
more than
tempo
Prep does.
tonight
Yeah,
because Brooklyn Casey kind of forced it, and Prep looked pretty comfortable in it once they settled in. But no, you're right. They like to get out and go a little bit more. They got little Kevin Up Smith who's getting good minutes at the point. Obviously, Gage Duncan is terrific getting to the rack and finishing. Macy's playing a little different role this year because they've got a
yeah,
lot of guards, so he's playing a
Yep.
little bit more off the ball, even defending in the paint a little bit, because he's got a little size, and they don't have a lot of size. That's one thing
That's
that's going to
true.
kind of hold them back. But the Albright kid is long, he's big, he's tough, he can shoot it
yeah.
from outside. Bostwick plays big, so they're going to be a very interesting team to watch, and obviously Battery Creek was my number one team, so I got to shake up my rankings in a big way.
Yeah,
This was not a good showing tonight.
yeah, not a great showing for them tonight.
Again,
But
without
like
Ethan
you said,
Cox, but
yeah, without Cox, man, you know it's gonna be hard. But they still got weapons on that team, so when he does get back, I think they're gonna be just fine. But yeah, for this tournament, without Cox, it's gonna be tough for them in tomorrow's game. I don't know who they're playing. I think they're playing
they're playing Brooklyn Casey.
Brooklyn Casey. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's an interesting matchup. They're kind of similar. I think Brooklyn Casey might have a little size, a little length on them with Cox
yeah.
out, but should be a pretty good matchup. To get to tonight's games, they started last night. Hilton Head Prep beat Fort D 50-43 in overtime. That was a great game. Another
Wow.
great game from Ty Harpering, who was going corner three on him. He hit like 5 corner
Yes.
threes,
Yeah.
4 in a row. He was just on fire. Brooklyn Casey beat Easley 61-50. May River beat Military Magnet 57-41, and Creek blew out BA 82-35 last night. So pretty competitive tournament. Overall, most of the games have been pretty close. BA has not really been able to hang.
Look who's in the corner back there. Look, that's us two just sitting next to each other
Oh
back
yeah,
there.
sure
How
is.
cute
There we
that?
are. There he is. Look at us.
Yep.
Look
We're
at
on the other
us.
side now, I think.
Oh yeah, because we moved down to the other
Yeah,
end,
we
so I
moved to the
threw
other
some
side.
Battery Creek shots before we went home at halftime.
Yeah,
I did have some nice pulled pork nachos. If you get out to the Battery
go.
Creek Classic tomorrow, the pulled pork is really nice.
I remember
They'll put
having
it
those.
on.
Yeah, I
They'll
had
put it
those
on
during their football
nachos
game.
with nacho cheese sauce for you. It's real nice.
Yeah, when I was at their football
Real
game
good.
this year, I had their pulled pork fries. Oh, dude, their fries nice and crispy with the great pulled pork on it. It's truly something
If you
special. With some
like a
jalapenos in there.
mustard-based sauce, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's good. Really good.
Yes,
They put
sir.
some
Pulled pork
jalapenos on my fries.
nacho.
Oh,
Better get out there, Misa. Got your boys in the championship.
yeah, come on, Misa, show up, man. Don't worry, I'll be there
Man,
tomorrow.
I'll say this too. It's fun to watch Kyle Bennett coach. He's
Yeah.
It
he's
is.
a fun
He's
coach
so
to
good.
watch.
He's so
He's
much fun to watch.
intense, but in a very like lighthearted and fun way. He has good rapport with the refs. He'll give them a little, but not in a fun way, in a not mean-spirited way. I'm
Yeah.
sure he probably has his moments. We all do, where we get upset. We say something we don't want to, but
Yeah, of
he's very
course.
kind of sarcastic and snarky, and I love it. He's very entertaining, expressive as well. So I like an active coach on the sideline. I like a coach that distracts me from the game, quite frankly.
Yeah, May River pulled this one quick. And it's a 23-point game at this point.
So if Misa comes out, I'm told Max and Javon will sing a duet live on Buford's Own.
Wow.
Who told you that? I don't think Javon said that, Misa.
I think he's
I don't know what
speaking it
you're
into
talking about.
existence. He's commenting it into existence.
What time's that game tomorrow? I might have to watch that.
They got a bunch of
Championship
games
game
tomorrow.
at 5:30ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
me
Might have
and
to make
Javon
that
will be on. Me and Javon will be on Buford's Own tomorrow for all the consolation games and the championship game. So you can listen to my sweet and beautiful voice alongside the great voice of Javon Livingston. But Tristan, man, Tristan's been great. Was great tonight.
He's
He was
he's
fantastic.
he
He's
is
really
great.
good.
And
He's great.
what
He's gonna go
what
places.
grade level? What grade level is he?
I believe he's a junior, is he not? I think
I
so.
don't know if he's a junior or a senior, but I know he's doing
Whale
short
Branch
stuff.
kid, right?
Yep.
Goes
Yep.
to Whale Branch.
Javon got some nachos, but he was commentating and they got cold and soggy.
Oh,
That's sad.
That's what can happen.
I was made aware of the hospitality room after I got my nachos, so I'll be hitting that up if I get there tomorrow.
There you go.
Love a hospitality
hospitality
room.
room.
Yeah, media hospitality room, coaches, all that. Yeah, that's the place to be at most tournaments. If they got a hospitality room, that's where you want to hang out.
Might
Where you
have
get
to
the scoops.
I'd have to check
might
that
have
out.
to see if
Fiston
they've
is a
got one in
senior.
Bluffton next week because I am gonna be at
I'm sure they
Bluffton
will.
on
They
on
usually do.
Thursday
Yeah, I'll be at
for
Bluffton
the
probably.
first half of Thursday. Got a couple of teams that I definitely want to check out.
I'll tell you what, us wrestling coaches live off the hospitality room. That's the only way we survive through a Saturday. They got coffee, and they got snacks. And every time you get a chance to breathe, you got to pop in there and get some of both so you can keep going.
Man needs his snacks. Man needs his caffeine.
That's right. You got to stay fueled up for that job.
That's right.
This was a really impressive showing for May River. I did not see this coming. I thought this was going to be a Donnybrook, and it was not. Of course, I didn't know Cox was going to be out. And again, I think that makes a difference. It doesn't make a 30-point difference by any means.
Right.
But, oh, yeah. He might be going to USC for broadcasting. They'd be foolish not to take him.
That'd be
Foolish not to take him.
he's phenomenal.
Oh, stolen.
Wish I
But
could
I
have.
will say, Creek's got some good young talent. You know, they couldn't get the ball to go tonight, but Smith and Williams are nice. When Cox is in there, he's really good. Willis is a nice big. He had 20 and 13 last night against BA, which BA's they don't have any size. That's a big problem for them.
Yeah.
They got some guards, but they just don't have any size. They don't have enough depth.
Yeah.
It's looking rough.
By the way,
I told
quick,
him I might have to get a home and home with Bill.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be
see
big.
if we can both get a dub. Maybe we can split.
By the way, while we're watching this quick update, the college football playoffs started tonight.
Yeah.
Notre Dame is currently up 20-3 over Indiana, down in
Yeah.
up in South Bend. So
I was telling JJ that I was wearing a little bit of red as well. I had a red sweater vest over my white shirt and shamrock tie, along with the blue jacket and slacks. But I had to take the red sweater vest off as soon as I got home from the Christmas party over at Nunzio's because I can't be wearing red tonight. It's Indiana colors. I'll save the sweater vest for tomorrow when Ohio State's playing.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, I see that scowl on Kirk Signetti's face. I just love that. That's right, coach. Man, we were talking about it on air. I just think he's a little bit too arrogant. I mean, I understand wanting to
I
have a
kinda like him
confidence
being
going
arrogant.
against, big time teams, and you're 11-1. Indiana's done really nice this year. They're a good program, but I mean, come on, tone it down just a smidge.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah,
A bit much.
Just seem wondering what they'll do with the transfer portal. See if Indiana picks up some players, though. I think they got a great coach. I agree with you. He may be a little too arrogant, but sometimes I like that arrogant, nature of him because it just makes him who he is. But yeah, I do agree. I do agree with you. It's a little
once in a while is okay, but every big moment that you have to come out and say that you're just going to drub everybody, I mean, come on. To me,
it's been a bit much.
just,
I agree.
yeah.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Well, let me shout out a few sponsors here, and then we'll talk about some more local sports. We've got our varsity sponsors, DDS Web Design, builds, hosts, and maintains websites for our businesses and nonprofits to get results. So if you need to get found online so you can do more and think bigger, go to ddshhi.com. lowcosports.com. Parker Law Group serves legal needs across Colleton, Hampton, and Jasper counties, and helps us shine a light on more deserving teams and student athletes out there on the Loco frontier. Dr. Ambrose Cole is our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Great with athletes, so go see him if you're not feeling quite right, and he'll get you back in shape. Reverence Wrestling Club, official wrestling sponsor of Loco Sports, presenting sponsor of the Loco Grind, and a great spot to take your skills on the mat to the next level this season at Reverence Wrestling Club in Bluffton. Those are our varsity sponsors. I've got, while we wait on Wes to give us a report from the Seahawk Holiday Classic, which I think he'll be coming in pretty soon. Hopefully, if he's got any gas left in his tank. Been a long day. I think he was doing some PA over there.
There you go.
But while we wait on that, there was some news that came out yesterday. The all-state football teams released, and we had, and I'd have to go back, but we had 17 people picked, and I know our coverage area is bigger than it used to be, but that feels like a lot to my memory, which is great. That's great to see. A bunch of them in 4A. I'll start at the bottom now. I'll start in 1A just to be weird. Winston Smith from Ridgeland, for all-state running back in 1A, had a great year. They had a really good season as well.
Yes.
Tony Broxton, defensive lineman from Whale Branch in Class 2A. This is 2A now. Along with a trio from Hampton County, Mandrell Sanders, the linebacker, Tyler Davis, the DB, who had a bunch of picks, a couple pick sixes, and Jalen Singletary, the running back, Agent Zero. In Class 3A, Derek Smalls from Battery Creek, kick returner, making the all-state list. I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's amazing.
I was afraid he
deserves
wouldn't, because he's that guy that if you look at any one portion, maybe it's not enough to get on there, but when you put it all together, it's like, man, he deserves to be on there. So I was hoping they had an athlete or
100%.
something spot for him, and they had a specialist spot for him. So that's terrific. He deserves it. And then in 4A, bunch of dudes from May River, defensive lineman Xavier Polite, linebacker Hudson Flanagan,
Love it.
DB AJ Hamilton, offensive lineman William Bonneville, and that's all the May Rivers. Bluffton Chris Doyle, the defensive lineman, he had a great season. Aiden McCarthy as an athlete, which was interesting.
That is
but I think it was probably just like next best guy type thing. And
Right.
he was a punter too. He was a really good pooch punter.
Yeah.
And then Carnell Warren from Bluffton, the wide receiver.
Yep.
And then Hilton Head with 4 picks. They had Tristan Simmons at DB. He played that kind of hybrid role, sort of like Snead did a couple of years ago. Evan Wilder on the offensive line, Carson Haynes, the wide receiver, and of course, Troy Timko, the running back. So there's your 17 all-state players from the Loco. Well done.
That's terrific. They're phenomenal. And I'll say too, going back to Timko in that Bridge Bowl, my goodness, he looked as good as I've seen him in a couple of years. Really, really special. All those guys are just absolutely terrific and very, very deserving. Congrats, fellas. Way to rep the Loco.
Yeah, well deserving.
Football here?
Huh?
Wes Kerr, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we were waiting for
late night over there at the Holiday Classic, but it was the nightcap was fantastic. Hilton Head, they were oh so close to picking up with a signature win against Westminster Christian out of Miami. Had a 10-point lead towards the end of the third quarter, and then it evaporated instantaneously. The Warriors went on a 13-0 run to take control, and the Seahawks did battle back, but they were able to really find that high-powered steam we saw throughout the end of that second quarter into the third. But still a very strong effort, and there's a lot to like about the Lucilla team. And Reese Stewart, who we saw the last couple of years, he can rain those 3 balls, and he has a couple other extra tricks up his sleeve in terms of his drives to the hoop. Really tremendous offensive playmaker, and he's been the go-to guy throughout this past year and into this year. And he put up 26, including a monstrous third quarter where he knocked down 2 triples and scored 12 points overall in that period. But Westminster just found the extra gear when it was about to really sink in on them. that they're going to drop this ball game down by 10 and just brute force the rim, able to draw some fouls and get back in it. And Hilton was kind of stymied. And when they started turning the ball over, it unraveled. And so just that's tough to see. Just couldn't able to take care of the basketball late. And the offensive success that we saw just dwindled once you saw that run being made by Westminster. But all in all, I'm excited and optimistic about the Seahawks team after what I saw last night. And I'm looking forward to see how they respond tomorrow. Let me see who they got. I have the brackets on my phone. So let's see here who they have next. Hilton High will face off against Westwood out of Tennessee, who dropped their first game to Butler College Prep 66-60. So Butler and Westminster will meet in the second semifinal in the boys brackets over there at the Holiday Classic. Great tournament always, but this was a fun first day. Mostly saw girls games, but we saw that one last guys game, which was phenomenal, and excellent effort there by the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with this team too, Wes, talking about the guys. Again, I got to see them against Richmond Hill on Tuesday night, and you're right about Reese Stewart. I mean, that guy is just on a different level right now. He looks really impressive. And again, I mean, Bowman was really good on Tuesday night as well. And then Wright just had an absolutely incredible first half.
It was BDU at the hot hand
Richmond
tonight.
Hall also.
Richmond Hill, hot hand tonight. He drained 3 triples in that first half, and he didn't really see much time throughout that second half. He was in there for bits and pieces, but he kind of was a spark plug early, and then Reese Stewart kind of took over after that. But just unable to get much from anyone else in that second half. Either it was turnovers or just missed shots. The offense went cold right when Westminster Christian started to make that run, and Julian Crespo had himself a second half. Dwight, I'm trying to get rid of his last name, but he was tremendous down the stretch for Westminster. I mean, that's a terrific team, and going toe to toe with a team like that is what you want to see, because there are benefits to playing these local games, but it's also cool to test your your skills against these teams that come in out of state, because there's some quality competition. And man, if you could have gotten them, then you're looking at your one win away from a finals for a tournament where I don't remember the last time Hilton had it got to the championship. Or I believe they did. Maybe did in the 2020 2021 year when McCracken was there. I believe they may have gotten the finals that year, but it's been rare.
Yeah, possibly, but you're right. It's been very rare, and they've usually ended up playing in the auxiliary gym, and that's not the way you want it to go in your home tournament. But respect to them for not being one of these schools that sets up the tournament where they have a cakewalk path to the finals.
Or they give themselves a bye.
They schedule themselves in the primetime game.
Although the girls
game, no
bracket,
matter what.
The girls bracket, it worked out so Hilton had the loser of the Hilton Head Sumter game got in the semi, so they didn't get a bye, but the loser got a spot in the semis. So because it's a 16 bracket, and so even though Hilton had lost,
right. So that's weird.
they get a spot in the semis, but they go against a really strong Page team that dominated the Leavitt school. Page out of Tennessee beat the Leavitt school out of Georgia 72-32. But the most impressive team was David Crockett from Tennessee, who absolutely shellacked the heck out of Eastside from South Carolina. I'm very, very impressed by that David Crockett. You might think they're the early favorite to win this thing. I don't think. I mean, Page is the other team that's looks like they could be on their level, but I think David Crockett right now is the team to beat on the girls' side of the bracket. So I'm looking for them to make a run. They get Sumter, which I expect Crockett to come away with the win there against that Sumter squad that beat Hilton Head today. But maybe Seahawks can find a way to rebound against Page, but they'll have to be at the top of their game. Page has some shooters. They've got some tremendous ball players on that girls' side. So that should be a tough one for the Seahawks, but opportunity to grow from it. On the other side of the guys bracket, you got Boyd Academy against Mount Lebanon from Pennsylvania against Boyd H. Anderson from Florida, knocking off Harlan County, who went pretty deep the last time. I think they got the finals or even won it the last time they played. But they are in the constellation bracket now. They will be facing off against Sumter, and then Westwood Hilton Head in the other side of the consolation draw on the guys' side. So that's your Holiday Classic recap after day one of this, and we'll get things started again at noon on Saturday. So exciting times over there at the Nest.
Yeah, man. Should be good ones tomorrow. So what time do the girls play tomorrow? I mean, the Hilton Head girls will play at 3.
Will play at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the Ox
and then
Show.
the boys
The guys will go at
1:30.
1:30, yes, 1:30 against Westwood, and I believe I'll be on the PA for that one. See
All right.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I got to figure out what my schedule looks like tomorrow because I know I'm throwing axes with the McCracken wrestling team.
Oh,
little team building activity. We're gonna throw axes, Palmetto axes. So that should be fun. And then I'm thinking about trying to get over to Creek for that championship game. But if I'm too tuckered out, I may just watch it on Buford's Own, which is a great luxury.
It's coming up on Sunday as well, so
yeah. So I figured we'll probably do a show tomorrow night, to recap the tournaments.
I think it's the right move.
And then, maybe even Sunday night. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
It should be a great championship game over at Creek. I'll be, of course, with Javon on the call, and should be a good one between May River and Hilton Head Prep. That should be really fun. Fun championship game over at the Crick. We should see some other really good consolation games. Brooklyn Casey will be taking on, I believe, Battery Creek. That should be an interesting one.
That's a good one.
And I'm trying to think who the other.
I think the Fort D military magnet game probably won't be that good. I think Fort D takes that fairly easily, and then I don't think DA can hang with easily. So the early games may be not that competitive, but the 2 later games should be pretty good. Or actually, I guess the Creek game's the second game. The Creek Brooklyn Case game's the second game. Yeah. So 2nd and 4th should be really good. 1st and 3rd could be time to go get you some pulled pork nachos.
There you go.
They keep them moving fast. They couldn't quite hit the hour 15 window, but they weren't missing it by as much as I expected.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to grab pulled pork nachos during the game since I will be on the broadcast. I can't just.
Well, maybe they can serve it to you.
No. I'll just say to Javon, hey, Javon, really quick. I'll be right back.
Ask maybe if someone can serve it to you.
Yeah,
just put it in your mouth while you're broadcasting.
I'll do the job, but it'll be. I'll just be on the air. I'll be like, yeah, man, what a great game!
Well, like what we did at the baseball, the Dixie. Boys World
we
Series,
had food left and right.
Yeah,
you talk about service.
Max made us show us our grub during the broadcast.
Yeah, man.
Do something so much food he didn't have time to broadcast the games. He was busy eating the whole time.
I know.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I miss the best days for the food. I miss the days they were bringing in big time stuff.
Dude, brick on boundary, man. It's the best.
35 piece tonight for Ty Hartbring, plus 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
He has he's made 11 threes in the tournament so far in 2 games. And he's got more in his bag than that. He scores all levels. He gets to the rack. He defends. He rebounds exceptionally well. And it's because he sees where the ball's coming off and gets to the spot. He moves himself really well while the ball's in the air even. Seeing, picking up the trajectory and figuring out where it's going to come off, and he gets a ton of rebounds. He's the best player I've seen this year.
Send you some highlights from tonight if
you did, and I've got them ready to go here.
Let's go.
As a matter of fact.
This must have been really fun. Wes, were you on the PA for this game?
No, I wasn't for this one, so I was able to catch some video. Now that would have been pretty cool.
That would have been a trick.
That would have been fun to do.
Maybe hear the microphone while I take video. That would be insane.
That'd be impressive.
Well, we can get you a little tabletop tripod where you can set it up.
Well, here we go. Hilton Head taking on Westminster Christian out of Miami.
Did the freshman Smith play tonight?
For
Hilton Head?
Hilton Head.
Isn't his name Smith, the big kid?
Yeah, Akita Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, Kiedis.
Yeah, did not see much of his name called. He did not find his way in the score sheet, but I believe he may have found his way on the floor at some point in this ball game.
I'm excited to see him. I've heard
Yeah, but
big things about
we're
him.
starting at the third quarter. I'm not sure. Might be going
What
out
the
of order
heck
here, but
happened?
that's all right.
Yeah, somehow I got him out of order again.
No
Here,
problem.
We can
There's Reece Stewart
skip
nailing
ahead
a
and
three from
come
the
back
corner.
to it.
Yep.
Here we go. We'll skip ahead to here, and then we'll come back to the end. We won't spoil the
no
ending.
problem.
It's because I think I know what happened. I thought I had
maybe
received
it's
them
on
all
my
when I
end. It's
started.
possible it's on
No,
my end. I don't know,
I thought
because
I had
sometimes
received them all when I
it's
started
done that
downloading,
where
Now,
and then I got
Wes,
3
they
later.
were using both gyms, correct?
yes, the auxiliary and the main gym.
Boom.
So
Main gym.
I believe
Yes.
the main gym's going to have all the boys' games because they had all the girls' games there today. So you're going to switch
Reece
off.
Stewart is such a great
He is
pure
fun
shooter.
to watch, especially when he is draining those shots from beyond the arc. And
He's pure,
he's
man.
slick, athletic.
He's like
guard.
Hoosiers level
Yeah.
3-point shooter.
Yeah.
You know, also a nice day was Rishon Beatty, who was draining some shots early. You might see some of his in a bit. But the offense was terrific early on. They were going toe-to-toe with a very strong Westminster team. There's a corner three from Beatty.
On a 3.
Yep.
Kind of three. That's one thing that my brother told me about as soon as I started using that call. I don't think I've
Did
done
you
it
not
since.
know where it was from to begin with?
Putback. That was.
I didn't until he told
There's
me.
your guy, Kyrie's
Oh.
Bowman, with the
Classic.
putback.
Yeah.
Great, love it.
We're going to initiate
I've
people who haven't seen it before here in a little bit.
Yes, please. One of my
Really
favorite
strong
players.
start, and then into the second quarter, I thought they really
Oh, I agree.
matched whatever that Westminster threw at them.
Yeah.
The ball movement. I just love great ball movement. Crisp
Oh,
passing.
And
I do
the thing
too.
about this
Working
team
inside
is
out or outside in. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Oh,
there's another three ball. in the
Love
corner
it.
from
Corner three.
Scorching hot in that first half.
On a 3.
Corner three.
Going double dribble style.
Oh,
Damn.
what a shot. Great shot.
A nice jumper there from Bowman.
All right, we're almost to the end, and then we're going to go back to the beginning.
But I think
No,
what
it
really
was-
impressed me about this team is the offensive ability, because in the past we've seen more defensive style teams from Shane Brown, but
hmm
I like the way this team has evolved offensively. They've got some shooters and they've got some playmaking. That's exciting to watch. If they get the defense down, which this was a strong team, but I think there's still room to grow for that defense. They're still aggressive, and I wonder if they press more, like we've seen at some points during Shane Brown's tenure. If they can really find ways to stymie their opponents, but I'm
what a
pumped,
move.
especially by the way that Bowman's
What a
been playing. He was alongside Reece Stewart, who have been the key outlets in terms of the scoring, but there have been others as well.
Yeah, Bowman's nice.
Yeah, and they always have some depth pieces that come through later in the year. See if we can, especially if you're talking about a guy like Keita Smith, that freshman. I'd like to see more of him as this year goes on. And tournaments give you a good chance to do that because you can play 3 games in 3 days.
Right. Dang.
Move jumper from Reece Stewart,
So smooth.
He is
senior,
good,
and
man.
that's them over there at the
There he is
nest.
again. Oh,
Reece.
can't lose him, man. All right, back to the beginning. We're on a Donnybrook here.
But this was all Hilton Head. They were up by 10
Yeah.
with around the 2-minute mark in the third quarter, and then swung the other way with a couple of quick and ones from Westminster. And then Hilton had kind of, lost some steam as it went into the fourth. Able to find that shooting touch, just that offensive playmaking. They turned it over a couple times, but hung around thanks to that 3 from Stewart, and that kept them in range.
Oh.
Put that up
And then they had
now.
1 with that blue cut to around 4.
Stewart, man.
Move there from Reece Stewart, but and now we're back in the third quarter when Hilton was making that run. So flipping back and forth here.
Oh, so we done now?
I believe
Have
so.
we
I don't
seen
know
it
if we've
all?
seen this, but that's pretty much it. I didn't film much of the once Westminster made their run, they just want to win much of that. But that's all she wrote pretty much. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, now we're
But
back
yeah,
to the beginning.
Encouraging effort there from the Seahawks tonight, and how can they build on that as they get ready to play again tomorrow? I would
I actually
love to
get
see.
10 minutes between games, so it's like being back in high school again. Wolf it down fast.
Shout out.
Yes.
Yeah, but if I wolf it down fast, the
I'm with Javon on this. The stands are a little sparse. Come on, folks.
It was a
out
good crowd
and
tonight.
support
Westminster,
your-
their fans traveled. There were a bunch of Warriors
well,
fans
we
out
need
there.
more local fans out. More
Yeah,
local
man, what's
fans
going
coming
on?
out supporting the squad.
Yeah.
hey
look at
guys,
that.
I'm gonna be there, so you better be there too.
That's
Hey
right.
Max,
Come
are you
see me at
are you gonna
the
check any of the Holiday Classic, or are you're calling
I'm-
you're calling the tournament tomorrow over at the Creek?
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm calling the Crick tournament tomorrow, so I'll be there pretty much the entire afternoon. So, but it's gonna be fun down there. I'm excited for some of those games, including Battery Creek and Brooklyn Casey, and of course, what should be a really fun game between Hillnet Prep and May River for the title. So that's gonna be a really
that's
end of the
fantastic. A Loco.
Yeah, and then of course I'll hopefully be at the Bobcat Classic next week, at least for the second day of games.
Yeah, the first day, the day games might be a problem. I'll be working on that day. So
I'm definitely gonna again be there for the first
I'll
half.
probably be living
Thursday.
at the Bobcat Classic since it's.
Oh, I'm
around the
pumped.
corner
Like
from my
every game
house.
is a Loco game, pretty much, unless the two Savannah teams meet up, or most
Right.
likely a high probability that pretty much all the games will be featuring Loco combatants. So
we have Savannah teams in that tournament, correct?
yeah,
Islands
I
and
believe,
Bethesda.
Bethesda,
Ooh.
yep, the team we know very well.
Ooh, yeah.
Team we know very well.
Javon doesn't like the Crick.
Oh, come on. All right, I'll call it
I
the
like
Creek
the
just
Crick.
for you.
The Creek.
I do like the
Crick.
Crick. But,
Is the
you know,
Crick
I like the
okay? What's
Crick.
the official name of the tournament?
Oh, it's the John Drafts Battery Creek
Okay.
Classic.
Okay, I was wondering if like where the Crick came from.
Oh well, Libby was always calling it the Crick,
Okay.
and I mean I grew up calling a creek a crick, so
When I
it's an
think of
easy one
Crick,
for
I
me.
think of a couple of the Crick family, some of the Hillnet players.
Oh yeah,
the great
Mhm.
soccer
Hillnet
players.
Prep.
Last name.
you know,
Or-
just for you,
They were at both
Javon.
Prep and
Yeah.
Hilton High, I believe.
Just for you,
But
Javon.
here's
Just for you,
What's that?
Javon. Tomorrow, I promise I won't say Crick. It's because I
The
love you
Crick.
and I care about you and I don't want to hurt your feelings. All right.
fun to say
So
the
I
Crick.
won't call
so.
it Crick tomorrow, but for tonight I will be calling it the Crick. So deal with it, man.
And speaking of calling a three, here we go.
Hey, to celebrate, how about we play a little old school double dribble?
Okay, but no stupid ass shots from the corner because that's a glitch in the software.
Game on!
Oh, well, we're going old school.
All right, bring it up.
This
the
was a
court.
great game.
And
Calling a
corner
three.
No, no, that's what I'm talking about.
Steal. Up,
Calling
corner
a
three.
three. That's
All
Ty
right, here we
Harping's
go.
first
I
half
got
last
something
night.
cooking.
Up, you dropped something. I think I'll head over in this direction. Corner three.
That was old
Get
for
some
a
bull
couple
crap.
moments here.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Hey, see, competitive ball game. What should I do? Pass and then go up and corner three.
All right, enough of this mess.
Shoot it from there.
The refs are letting
When
them
I used to play this
I do
game,
appreciate that.
It
Yeah,
got
that's
so
what I'm talking
ridiculous
about.
that
Now I'm playing for real.
Yeah, you're doing
I would
pretty
just
good.
put
What
I
play
would
should I
just put
call
down
now?
the
Maybe
controller
corner three.
and let the game play itself
He
for the
is
first
hot.
half. I'd take the
Beat
5-second
that
call every
Hi,
time
nice to
and
meet
let them
you.
just
Can I
have
have
as
that?
many free baskets as they could
Hang on over
get,
here
and
for a
then I
second.
come back in the second
Corner
half and
three.
You gotta
destroy
get out
him
there, Cleveland.
I'm
Just
trying. He's taking advantage of poor
just
technology.
to make it more
A
fun.
lot of dribbling. Swipe.
I always
Here
play
we
with the
are.
green
Hit the
team
wrong
though, the
button.
Celtics.
I think you all know I was going for a corner three.
I think you all know I was going for a corner
Yeah.
three.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what we're referencing when we say calling a three.
Corner three. Yep.
Get used to
Classic.
it because it's not going anywhere.
Peter Griffin,
Got a
what-
few other
Basketball
scores
season
from
just
tonight.
getting started.
Yeah,
Right.
already go.
We'll have a lot more corner threes for the rest
Oh,
of the
yeah.
year. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did find one other key score from tonight. Buford boys no longer winless, 61-58 over the Whale.
Good for them.
Really? All right. Great win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great win for them.
On a three.
Corner three.
We're gonna have Javon saying it all the time
I
now
might
too,
have to
because
say
he
it tomorrow.
he already be saying it. So now we're gonna really have him on.
Yeah, I might have to join in on it.
Yeah, corner 3.
Be like,
Great
what should he
reference.
do over here? Up corner 3.
Up corner 3. You can't miss from that spot either. You got to jump from that one spot and fade out.
I
Off
just
the
want to
court,
see someone
and
do it
goes
though.
every time.
Like jump from that one spot as they're jumping out of bounds and just shooting.
Yeah,
Like,
like
corner 3.
simulate the double dribble glitch.
Yep.
Yeah,
Probably wouldn't work out very well for him.
No.
it would be funny though.
It's not a
to see
great
it.
shooting form.
Yeah.
Not a great shooting form at all. Good way to blow your shoulder out of socket.
Oh,
Indeed.
Oof.
You boys
Man.
got anything else tonight?
We
Yeah, I
got
got some
hey Jalen
Before we get to closing parting
yeah,
thoughts.
I got some interesting things, so I'll save it for.
yeah, keep it in the just
I was
for a
gonna
bit. But
check,
hey, just wrapping up the holiday tournament, or at least the one Hilton had. Like I said, good crowd, great turnout, great atmosphere. Hopefully, we'll see more of that tomorrow. And looking forward to see. I haven't seen many of the guys' teams, so excited to see some more of those squads and seeing how those top girls teams will do as well. Can they continue to hold strong in the bracket? It could set up what could be a really good championship game between Paige from Tennessee and it would be an all Tennessee championship game between Paige and David Crockett. But will the Seahawks have a say and pull off the upset? Certainly will be a high challenge for Coach Reniszewski's team. And then it's like I said, I haven't seen any of the guys' team, but I'm looking forward to seeing that Boyd Anderson squad and that Mount Lebanon game. I'm expecting that one to be good over there at 3:00. And Westminster, that's a solid team. But Ted, credit to Hilton for how they played. I'm thoroughly impressed by what Shane Brennan's team has been doing. They've competed against some tough squads. Richmond, the Richmond Hill one was nice. The one they got earlier this week. That really, especially as you said, when you see a team you lost to, you see a team that lost to a certain team, then beating that certain team a couple days later, a week later. So that signifies some big improvement. And even though they lost today, I still feel like there's some really strong improvement going on with that Shane Brown team. So excited to see how they do coming up throughout the rest of the weekend. And always such a fun tournament to have it right before the holidays, and should see another great crowd. And then that Lowco on Lowco championship game that you mentioned. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Two low country teams duking it out.
I got to see 4 in 3 games tonight at the Crick. So that was cool. If we wanted, let's see how many times Javon said corner 3 in last night's Hilton Head Prep highlights real quick.
Looks like it's on the Creek is on the rise, right? Great this year, so it's interesting to see what things look like. And another great corner for the Dolphins.
There's John Drafts on the call. He'll be joining me for some USCB men's games later on this season.
Love that.
Giving any advice to
But
players.
this is where he started just banging corner 3s in this first half.
I know
it was crazy.
He knows about the Family Guy reference.
How would you kind of attack that 1-2?
Who, Harpering?
Offense or defense?
Well, he definitely knows because
he
liked the story I posted where I said this is highlights of Ty Harpering's first half last night, and but corner 3 on there.
Mixing up the zone.
Here goes one
against the Dolphins. There's another 3. And
Harping sinks it.
Oh yeah, Javon's not on there right now because
right?
Drafts is in his headset.
Stolen here again by
so it's just Tristan and Drafts. We're not going to get any corner 3s.
Connor Campbell out the more. Back to Harping. Harping another 3 gets it in.
There's more coming. Don't you worry.
Come on. Give it to me, Tristan.
He went on fire.
Right now. Finds more.
He skips. Look at that skip.
Oh, man.
Gets it in.
So good. So good. Poor D didn't know it hit him. And remember, they still came back, and this game went to overtime. So it was a quality dub for Hillman.
That's a really nice win.
To
beat a team like a 5-8 team like Worcester.
Coach Masterson and Coach
That
McElvain
shows
decided
a
to run
lot
that
from this
pressure all man
prep
to
team
man
and the way
now.
their offense has
I
been
think that's
A
clicking.
smart.
19-3 lead was huge.
The 18
They
on the
needed
shooting
every
hasn't
one of
shot
them
as much
points at the end.
as
Hmm.
Hartman has, but he's still
The
shooting
depth
from
is still
the
obviously
three is pretty
a
nice
serious
also.
concern for them, but I mean, not in skis at 3A, not
No,
really.
no,
You
no.
know, I mean,
There's no one that can match what they play like this in 3A Skiza.
Yeah.
They're in a league of
no.
their own. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some
You can tell
teams
they're
that
trying
could
to
sneak
groove.
up on them. And I'm not sure where the video went there, but yeah, Hilton Head Prep.
I'd had
Yeah,
enough.
yeah, that's enough. But
Yeah.
yeah, Hilton Head Prep is looking like they are the favorite in Skiza 3A now. I still haven't seen who else really could be a contender there, but you just look at the past and of Hilton Head Prep's opponents in those Skiza ranks, and you got to think they're going to be right there at the top, if not one of those top teams, and they should absolutely run through their region and set themselves up for a good opportunity in February. So
should be a good one tomorrow. Them and May River. You know, I think it's a great opportunity for May River to see, you know, kind of where they
we
are.
saw, Bluffton fell short to them, so that could be a big statement win for the Sharks if they can knock them off early on in the
I think
year.
it'll
And
be a good game.
excited to see how they match up. Haven't seen much of the Sharks yet this season.
I think they'll match up decently. You know, I mean, I think 6:25 second quarter, Hilton Head Prep, Brooklyn, Casey. All right, we've got marching orders from Javon.
Very nice.
All right, here we go. Brooklyn, Casey, Hilton Head Prep, 6:25 second quarter. Where are we at? A little further. All right, here we go. Can't wait to see what we got here. Probably a con of 3.
Yeah. Harping 3 connects. On at the screen set.
Con of 3.
No,
Fair enough.
For 3.
There it is.
Con of 3. I
Con
love it, Javon. You're my man, Javon. You're my man. All right, let's get to the Loco Booster Club and get on out of here on a almost Saturday morning. Court Lifestyle Pros, Daniel and Debbie Court, Loco natives. They want to bring you home to Hilton Head Island. They're with Charter One Realty. Eagle Creations has some promotional items and custom apparel, custom gift baskets, and much more at their showroom over on Argent Boulevard. Jay's Barbershop, place to be to get a haircut or to just hang out for great conversation in downtown Ridgeland. Barefoot Floor Care, the Low Country floors so clean your feet will thank you. They're all over the Loco. Hudson Seafood House on the docks on Hilton Head Island. Great spot for seafood, cocktails, and sunsets. And they're the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus on the Loco Media Network. And Hurricane Sports Cafe, the place to be out in Hampton. Whether you need to eat or drink, if you're hungry or thirsty, go in there, say hi, tell them hi from the guys at Loco. The night y'all show up, I'm not wearing my Loco hat. Oh, you usually wearing your Loco hat? Appreciate you. We appreciate that. Repping. I was repping in that. I haven't been wearing a hat lately, but there was an incident earlier today. I don't know if you can see.
Ooh, ouch.
But
What happened?
I was putting some stuff in the attic, kind of bashed my head on the hinge thing. Pretty good. So I had to cover that up. You know, can't be going around looking like massive head wound Harry. Anybody remember that from SNL? Massive head wound Harry? That's from the Dana Carvey days, way back. But all right, parting thoughts,
Dana
gents.
Good,
Marcus, you're the best dressed. Start us off with your parting thoughts.
Well, I have one parting thought. I just want to thank, and the reason that I am dressed this way, minus the red sweater vest that I was wearing earlier. Again, we had the great get together at Nunzio's on Hilton Head on the South End for our WHHI Christmas party. Great time was had by all. And I want to thank Nunzio's for, stepping their game up. I mean, it's always great, their game over at Nunzio's, but their food is just phenomenal. I don't know if either of you three have been there yet.
No.
South End of Hilton Head, I tell you what, the calamari, the meatballs, the shishito peppers, and
say less.
that stuff is just phenomenal. The desserts, great. Drinks, great. It's just so good. Yeah, this is I think the third or fourth time that we've been there, and you go home hungry or you go there hungry and you come home happy because you're able to just stuff your face. Nunzios, thank you. Y'all are terrific, and I'm just so blessed to be able to work with such a great team within Burn Media and WHHI certainly, and you guys. And I may check out, depending on how I'm feeling tomorrow and whatnot with my schedule, I may check out some hoops there at Hilton Head. I know JJ and Max will be at the Creek, and Wes will be at Hilton Head as well. So I may head over there tomorrow. We'll just see how the day goes.
Nice.
But we're getting close to the end of 24, boys. I mean, it's crazy.
Yep.
It is crazy.
It's bald.
Next
bald.
next week we're gonna be hitting
it's damn near to
Christmas.
bald.
Yeah,
It's
2025
up.
is less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Yeah, good lord.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wes, parting thought?
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to Jaden Steed and the Fighting Irish. We're about to wrap up a dominant win over the in-state rival Indiana. They're up 27-3, and we saw a 98-yard touchdown run in this game.
It was a thing of
to
beauty.
open the scoring from Love. The first, just inside the first 5 minutes of the ball game, and
that's All-American football camp coach Jeremiah Love.
That's right. I had
great
to rewind
represent.
it because I didn't see it at first.
That is great to see. I'm sure
And a
BJ
great call by
King
Sean
will be very
McDonough too,
proud.
by the way.
Yeah, that's really cool. But I'm trying to find defensive stats, and they're hard to find. But
They are hard to find. You got to find the live stats to be able to
that's
do it.
what I was looking for.
Like regular
I went to
ESPN
Notre
doesn't
Dame,
have it.
the Notre Dame football website, and normally those universities, the SIDs, will do like the whole live stats thing. But I'm having trouble.
Notre Dame is currently up big time. I believe it's
it's
last
over
I
there.
checked, it was 20-3.
Yeah,
Riley,
it's 27-3. Here
27.
we go. I got,
and Riley Leonard just set, I believe, the school record for rush touchdowns in a season with rushing that into the end zone for Notre Dame. I think that was 15 on the year for him.
Snead has 2 solos and a TFL.
All right, okay.
Love it.
I found them on Stat Broadcast. I just Googled Notre Dame football live stats, and Stat Broadcast came up. And then you got to click on the defense tab.
That's great to see for Jalen, because it took him, like, obviously he had some tremendous offers, and I feel like the opportunity that he got at Notre Dame, it kind of took him a while to settle in, but now he's looking the part as a tremendous college defensive player. And
it didn't take him too long.
Didn't take him
I remember
he had some difficulty. He did have some difficulty when he first got there, just picking up all the terminology and all the intricacies of that defense, because he essentially had to learn like 2 different position responsibilities because it's a hybrid role. And so it was Al Golden. It was Al Golden's defense, right? And so like it was very complex. And I remember talking to his mom early on when he hadn't been on the field yet, and she was like, "Man, his head's spinning right now. Like they're throwing a lot at him." But that was just what they had to do to get him prepared for his role.
The other thing I have to say, which is also involves the playoff, is I feel like the committee is going to rethink how they seed the teams, because there are some of those top 4 seeds, or some just teams that have easier roads than others. And like you look at Oregon, the 1 seed, they have either Tennessee or Ohio State, but the winner of Texas or Clemson gets Arizona State. You would definitely think that would be a much easier matchup in the second round versus, So I feel like when you're looking at the seeding, where this time they gave the top 4 conference champions got the top 4 seeds. I wonder if I wonder if that will be changed in the future.
I think it will, because I think like you said, it creates sort of an unfair and unintended advantage for certain teams that doesn't make sense. Because all of a sudden you put Arizona State in the 3 slot, and you're like, whoa. Wait, why does Penn State get to play them in the second round?
Boise State number 3,
or Boise State's 3 and
Boise
Arizona
State's 3,
State's 4,
Arizona State's 4.
Yeah.
Which, I said, whoever the Penn State the SMU winner. I mean, gets obviously Boise State has shown why they're an elite team, but
I mean,
you know, it's
Oregon, the
definitely not
one seed's
Georgia
going to
or
end up with a
Oregon.
tougher second round matchup than the 5 seed will. Like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the biggest complaint I've seen from people is just seed them 1 through 12. What, give them an automatic bid,
Right,
but don't
I'm
give them
bid, but then the
that
top 4
bye.
teams, regardless of conference champion.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I'll just say this: if Clemson or Texas wins, whoever wins that game, they'll beat Arizona State, in my opinion.
Without
I really
question.
do believe that.
Most likely, but
I'm not going to go that far. Arizona State's playing with
That's it.
house money right now,
They're
man.
playing with house money, but I don't know if they can beat
Clemson and
Texas.
Texas are better.
And I think they
think.
could. beat
Texas
Clemson.
will beat
I mean,
them. I'm not
I'm not
100% sold Clemson will.
I'm not
I'm not
sold
100%
Clemson
sold.
is better than either of those two
Well, if
teams,
Clemson
but
beats Texas, they have a shot against Arizona.
I don't think
State.
Clemson's beating Texas, so I think it's
I don't
irrelevant. But
you don't know.
I think Texas.
You never know.
I'm
Anyway.
not
I
convinced
agree.
about. I'd love to see Clemson win. I'm still not convinced. But the opportunity of playing as a 12 seed, playing with the house money, no one expected them to be there. I
Yeah.
feel like that kind of mentality can help Clemson in a game like this.
Absolutely.
But I do think that Texas.
And I do
was
Texas. I
well
think
suited.
Texas is a little bit overrated. I don't think they're.
Now they did struggle at points in
unbeatable.
some games. I don't
Yeah.
think Texas is the favorite, or maybe even like has a chance to get. I
Yeah.
feel like Oregon is certainly better than them. I feel like the Tennessee or Iowa State, if they match up against Texas, but I do think Oregon is looking like one of the favorites more so than Texas right now, because the Longhorns have had some iffy moments, but they've been able to stay the course and get a spot in the playoff. But I do feel like that underdog mentality can help. Clemson is not always. They've never always been one. They've had some years where they've been the top dog, and they've been the team with all the pressure. But this time, I kind of feel. And by the way, Max, Dabo Swinney is finally leaning into the transfer.
Yeah.
Damn,
window.
what? That was gonna be one of my parting thoughts.
Well, let's
actually.
lead into it, right? Yeah.
Well, there you go. He segued for you.
They have picked
Beautiful
up 2
segue.
players as of right now. They have picked up 2 players out of the portal. Tristan Smith from Southeast Missouri, which we mentioned the other day. I looked him up. Very Julio Jones looking. 6'5", 195 pounds or something like that. And just a beast. And from what I've seen, he has a 4.40 time that matches with some of the shorter receivers in college football. So he's got tremendous speed, tremendous hands, and he's big as can be. So that could be interesting for Clemson to add on with Antonio Williams as well as Bryant Wesco Jr. So
yeah,
that's interesting. And then they picked up another player today, this time on the defensive side, Will Helt out of Purdue. Big dude, defensive end. He'll be a great addition for Clemson. He, I believe, had 5 sacks on the year, and I think 10 tackles for loss on the season. So, like a solid defensive end pickup for Clemson this season, or for next season, I guess.
Has Dabo addressed his change in philosophy? Has he given
I haven't
his
heard anything from
rationale
him.
for changing his very hardline stance that this is wrong and I'll never do it?
I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm okay with.
I think it was probably, hey, Bubba, you're lucky you got in the playoff. Get in that damn portal. I think
give a big thank you to that Syracuse head coach who said after the game, "Hey, Dabo, I got you in."
Yeah,
yeah, I love
now
that.
Go
that
into the
Fran
portal,
Brown's the man. I love that
he's
dude.
like, "Hey, Dabo, I got you in," but what I forgot to tell you was, go into the portal, you idiot. You know, it's gotten to that. It's gotten to that point, and I'm okay with Clemson going into the transfer portal. If they're going to go in, this is the right way to do it. Pick and choose who they want to have on their team. I think that's the right way to do it. Not bring in 40 transfers at a time, like say Florida State or Colorado, for instance. Although Colorado's fared way better with more transfers than Florida State has. So, but my other things, Justin, you may find this one interesting. Although you are a Cubs fan, the Chicago White Sox have renamed their field.
What is it now? I'm still going to call it New Comiskey, just for the record.
Yeah, for real. So it was Guaranteed Rate Field. It is now Rate Field.
Rate?
Yeah, Rate.
Just rate
Because
field.
the team changed their name. The company
Well,
changed their name from
guaranteed
guaranteed rate to rate. So basically, they took out the guaranteed part.
Okay, it's just
Rate field.
eh,
Just rate
This is
field.
exactly why
just
Tom
feels
Hamilton
rate
now
field
just
just
says,
I don't know.
from the south
Maybe
side
it'll-
of Chicago.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rate Field. It's no longer
I mean,
guaranteed anymore that
I
you'll
will
have
still
a
refer
Chicago
to it
White
as
Sox
New
team.
Comiskey or
Wow.
the Cell, because when it was U.S.
Yes,
Cellular,
U.S.
forever,
Cellular.
What are
the
they,
Yeah,
Cell.
what are they
Cellular
thinking?
was
Perfect.
What are they thinking with this? Yeah, come down to Rate Field. It's not guaranteed anymore because we can't guarantee the Chicago White Sox will stay in Chicago forever. Who
Oh, yeah,
knows?
they
They
will.
may actually move out of Chicago.
Nah, they
But
ain't
anyway,
leaving the South
the
Side.
last thing I wanted to add was Camping World Stadium in Orlando will be undergoing renovations. In fact, $400 million worth in renovations.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Good.
right. They are going under some major renovations, and this is the proposed look for it. I believe they will be adding a roof. Potentially, this is one of the renderings. This is the other one.
Oh, that's nice.
Looks like old Cowboy Stadium.
Heck on.
Yeah, it
That
does,
is
right?
nice.
With
So
the,
that will
with
be
the hole in the roof so God can watch his favorite team.
That's
right.
right.
Well, they still have a hole in the roof. It's just you can put the roof, Anyway, with AT&T Stadium, they can actually retract the roof, which the last time they did that, pieces of the roof fell down onto the
Yeah,
field. You
sure
just
did.
never know. But yeah, apparently $400 million worth into the stadium.
Wow.
It was supposed to be one of the venues for Jacksonville to play in while they did their renovations for TIAA Bank Field or whatever it's called now. It was either going to be this stadium, Camping World Stadium, where they played for a year or two or however long it was going to take for them to do renovations in Jacksonville. Or the other option for Jacksonville was to play at the University of Florida. So that's interesting thing. But yeah, $400 million worth is the budget for for them to build redo Camping World Stadium.
By the way,
It'll be a great
they host
place to host
everyone's
games.
favorite bowl game, and that's the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
The Pop-Tarts
That will be coming up.
Bowl.
And
Yes,
by the
that's
way,
right.
the Pop-Tarts Bowl just unveiled a new trophy, which acts as a toaster, and so you'll be able to put the Pop-Tarts in your trophy, and they'll be all toasted for you. So,
All right, here's
let me
a.
see if I can-
Speaking of Pop Tarts, just thinking about this. Let's go around the horn. Favorite flavor of Pop Tart of all time.
Oh, I gotta go with the old school, the OG brown sugar and cinnamon.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's my dad's
you
favorite,
can't go
and my
wrong with
brother's
that
too.
one. You can't go wrong with that one.
Max?
Love brown sugar and cinnamon.
Yeah,
I mean, I love a frosted strawberry.
I gotta go
as well.
brown sugar cinnamon. I gotta go brown sugar cinnamon. It's my favorite.
I'm a
grew up
tie,
eating that.
and I haven't had a Pop Tart in
It has been
probably
a
a decade.
while. It has been a while. My favorite as a kid was Hot
Like-
Fudge Sundae. That
Ooh, that's a
that
good
one's
one.
good too.
That's
or
a good
s'mores.
one. I'm a s'mores or frosted chocolate fudge guy. Those
one's
are
good
my
too.
two favorite of all time.
But my go-to is good old brown sugar and cinnamon.
Brown sugar cinnamon
Can't go
for
wrong
me
with
would
that.
make 3.
Well, all this talk about changing naming rights got me thinking about one of the most iconic things in sports, which is the intro to the great film Basketball. So my parting thought.
America, when contests of athletic prowess were a metaphor for the nobility of man. Historic moments forged by the love of the game celebrated the human potential to achieve excellence. But as time passed and the country neared the millennium, something went awry.
Manning rolls right. He's got one at the 10. The 5. Touchdown, Dallas.
The ideal of sportsmanship began to take a back seat to excessive celebration.
This is so true nowadays, boys.
Well, now every time the defense makes a play, they'll run to the end zone.
Yeah.
The
Exact same
caring
thing.
less about executing the play.
Do an Irish river dance.
Yeah.
If
You'll
you
be doing
haven't
an Irish
seen,
jig here in under 2 minutes.
if you haven't seen this wonderful film from the folks who brought you South Park,
for money.
it is tremendous.
This is a classic 90s.
Here we go.
Nothing more than giant
Sports film.
billboards to promote commercial products.
And they predicted so many things that
to the
Yeah, they
highest
did.
going on
bidder,
now.
much like the hired guns of the Old West.
And after playing for New England, San Diego,
Houston, St. Louis, a year for the Toronto Argonauts, plus 1 season as a greeter at the Desert Inn. I'm happy to finally play here in the fine city of Miami.
Minnesota.
Whatever.
Soon it was commonplace for entire teams to change cities in search of greater profits. The Minneapolis Lakers moved to Los Angeles, where there are no lakes. The Oilers moved to Tennessee, where there is no oil. The Jazz moved to Salt Lake City, where they don't allow music. The Oakland Raiders moved to L.A. and then back to Oakland. No one in
And then
Los
to Las
Angeles seemed
Vegas.
to notice.
Out of Vegas,
The
that's
search for
right.
greener pastures went on unabated. Continued expansion diluted the talent pool, forcing owners to recruit heavily from prisons, mental institutions, and Texas.
That's where they found Ricky the Wild Thing Vaughn, playing in the California Penal League.
Penal League.
As the problems mounted, the fans became less and less interested. To reverse the trend, major sports started interleague play. When that novelty wore off, they tried intersports play. But no matter how far it wasn't enough to bring
That might be the next thing, man.
the
That might be
spirit
the
of
next thing.
athletic competition.
Have you seen
Indeed
Wrestle
was
Ball?
not dead. Its
I have
seed
seen
merely
Wrestle
lay
Ball.
dormant
It's
in the
amazing.
dreams
Yeah.
of the young.
Fred traded up to commercial
All
auto
right.
insurance from
There you
Geico.
go.
A serious
One
customized.
more thing to show you guys. You mentioned the Pop-Tart trophy. Here it is.
There you go.
There you go.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
Look at that.
I can't wait till those go on the market.
Yeah.
I had a football phone. I had a Sports Illustrated football phone when I was a kid. Now I need a football toaster.
That's certainly a lot better than the Duke's Mayo Bowl, in my opinion.
Oh, well, that's
Mayonnaise
Yeah,
going
y'all
around.
remember?
They
You
dropped
remember
him in
Shane Beamer? Was it last year or
It
the
was
year
Beamer.
before?
No, it was a
When he
while, a
got-
couple of years back when
It was
that
2
was
years in a
like
row.
breakout win for Shane Beamer
They dumped
in that
Mayo
bowl
on him.
game, and
Yeah,
they
dumped
got
the
the
whole
Mayo doused on him.
bucket of mayo on him.
I'd
Not
rather
a
not win that
chance.
game, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Dukes is the champion of mayonnaise.
By the way, no offense
so
to Wes,
gross.
I do love Fenway Park, but if your team ended up playing in Fenway Park for a bowl game this late into the year, with it being so cold up north, or the Pinstripe Bowl,
Yeah.
those
Well,
are
you
the
wanna-
two bowl
I mean,
games you don't want to
You'd
play
rather
at.
play a bowl game in like the Bahamas or
Pinstripes at
Yeah,
Yankee Stadium.
Hell, I'll travel like 11 hours to Hawaii for a bowl game.
Oh, yeah.
rather than
Send me to
drive
that
a
Hawaii
3-hour
Bowl.
bus
Yeah.
ride to go watch two
Typically
teams
on
who
Christmas
aren't really impressive play at Fenway Park. No disrespect.
Yeah.
I do love Fenway Park, but that's not the bowl game I would want to go to if I'm on a
No.
football team.
No, I don't want to be playing outdoors in the Northeast. No thank you.
Georgia 3-0 versus Notre Dame. All 3 games decided by 7 points or less.
Ooh, that's
Notre
good.
Dame
That should be
87
interesting.
seconds
Yeah.
away from facing Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
You
Goodbye.
guys got any
Manning.
upsets tomorrow? You got let's see. SMU is
SMU Penn State.
SMU's an 8-point dog. Clemson's a 13.5-point dog, and Tennessee's a 7-point dog. You like any of them?
Tennessee.
Going with the favorites.
Yeah,
I think
Tell
so,
you
too.
what, I will say
I
this.
kind of like SMU. I kind of
If-
like SMU. I'm a
If
Penn
Ohio
State
State
hater.
loses to Tennessee, if it were me, I'd fire Ryan Day right on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
By the way,
I think so, too.
I did hear this might be something to take note on. I did hear that 40% of the tickets for that game have been sold to Tennessee fans. I don't know if that's true or not, but that could be an
Especially,
interesting factor. If that's
that would be crazy because you have a certain allotment that you get, but
Right.
like since it's a home game, we're
talking about 40% of a 110,000 seat stadium. So I mean, that's a lot
Tennessee
of fans.
people are crazy.
Yeah,
they're nuts.
Paul.
They are nuts. I will.
Yeah.
They will travel there. Tennessee
I
Orange.
don't think
I
they're
want to
going
talk
to
to
win.
Powell.
I'm going to put it out there. I don't think they're going to win, and I'm not picking them just because I'm a Clemson fan. I like Clemson at Texas. I know it's a weird thing to say. I don't see them winning, but I like them having a chance at it. I know.
I feel like they're going to keep
chance.
it close. I'm not sure if they're going to win, but I think it'll be close. Texas has shown that they can be inconsistent at times. So if they get off to a hot start, I mean, watch out. But if they limp into it, which they could, I feel like Clemson can hang around and I'm not sure if I like Clemson. I mean, I'd love to see Clemson win it, but
I don't think
at
they
least
will.
Clemson showed they can win a close game last week because there have been a couple like the South Carolina
Yeah.
ones, and they won the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh game. That was close, but you know, there especially it was especially good to see Clemson's special teams come up big because throughout that year it has been a disaster when they've been kicking field goals. So great to see that field goal win it for them in the AC championship. But I do think Clemson can hang around in this game, but I do think Texas has a little
Texas
bit
has
more.
got too much talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think
I
they
like
have a
But
little
Texas.
more.
I will say this: if Clemson keeps adding players out of the transfer portal, I can't imagine what this team may look like next season.
Yeah.
If they
Great
keep adding
point.
players.
And I mean, no matter what, it's a it's a successful season for to get back in the playoff. And I know they expanded to 14 or they expanded from 4 to 12, but just to get back in the playoff
Be
is a
in
big
it, yeah.
step forward for Clemson this year.
Well, that's going to
but-
be a new measure, right?
Yeah.
Like now that the playoff has expanded, that's going to be a measure. How many times did
Right.
you get into the playoff? That is
Yeah.
really going to matter in
I
your
will say
coaching
this.
legacy.
I might have to agree with you, Justin. I kind of like SMU in the game at Penn State. Now, I will say I did hear the Penn State game will be a Penn State whiteout game.
It's a
And
whiteout
I don't
game,
know
but it's
what
not a night
gets more
whiteout.
rowdier than a whiteout Penn
It's
State
not the
game.
same when it's not at night.
Right.
It's during the day.
Is it a day game?
It's a day game. It's the first one of the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's just crap.
It's at noon.
That's crap.
Noon.
Never
So,
mind.
Yeah, Penn State's big mad about it because it won't be
TNT and
cold
Max.
enough.
And that's another reason where I kind of feel like Penn State. I feel like they kind of they kind of are let down in big game. I feel like Ohio State beats
I
them most of
agree.
the time. I kind of feel like SMU, a team that
I like
is they're
SMU.
angry. They're angry about that Clemson game. I mean, they
Yeah.
almost had that one. They
I
have
will
some
say this.
motivation as well.
I will say this. Penn State did have a great game against Oregon. That was
We did.
one
We
hell
did.
of a
They
game.
did. They played
They
tough.
did.
We did.
They played really tough.
Fun.
So
Played better than I
like-
expected.
that's what I want to keep seeing if I'm Penn State. I want to keep seeing them play like that. Yes, they lost to an Oregon team who's just better than them. Let's just put it that way. Oregon is the best team right now in the country, I think.
I think they're going to win it all.
Yeah, I do
Oregon?
too.
Oregon.
I don't. I think somebody's going to get them. I think this playoff's going to end up being weird. I think we're going to have
Could
more
see
upsets
a
than people
lower seed.
anticipate. I think we're going to get something weird.
Well, I think we can
if,
all
if
agree on
Ohio State gets another shot at Oregon, I think Ohio
Mhm.
State gets them.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with
That
that.
was a
would not be
1-point game
surprising
the
one
first
bit.
time they
Ohio
played.
State has
Not
an
be
easier
surprising
look
one bit.
towards the playoffs, to be honest. Once they beat Tennessee, it's interesting after that for them.
Honestly, though, I think it's going to be Texas and Georgia again.
That'd be a good one.
That's
interesting.
when I look
Yeah,
at the
but
bracket.
they've already
That's
played
what I
twice.
see.
I don't
coming
want to
out.
see them play a third time.
I
Gotta be
know,
honest.
but that's what I see happening when I look at the bracket.
Also,
but we'll see.
I think there is one thing we can all agree on with
I don't
this
know
college
nothing.
football playoffs. Thank God Alabama's not in it.
Amen.
Well, those Alabama fans,
Amen.
I'm sure, still are salty, but I think it was the right decision to leave them aside.
Thank God.
It's absolute trash, Paul. I can't believe they didn't put Bama in the playoffs because they knew we was going to win the whole thing, roll down tie.
They're also
How about-
mad pissed because they got to play a crappy Michigan team too for their bowl game.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen them play Miami. If I'm going to ask for the
too.
best bowl game outside of the playoffs, give me Miami and Alabama to play each other. I
Yeah,
think
and then
that's
let the winner claim a mythical national championship or whatever.
How about that field goal that we saw in the
Champions
NFL
of the
game
NIT
yesterday?
tournament.
Yeah, the drop kick from Dicker. It was the
That was
first one converted
very
since
impressive.
Oh yeah, the
1976.
fair catch kick.
And
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fair catch kick.
the fair catch
Yeah, I
kick,
saw
first
that.
one in
By the way,
who knows
Justin,
how
you
long.
mentioned
I
the
think it was
mythical national championship.
1976.
That
Yeah.
sounds right. Over
Yep.
50
Justin,
years.
you
You
mentioned
knew it'd
the
be
mythical,
Harbaugh too, because he knows
Yeah.
all those little intricate rules.
you
Yeah.
mentioned the mythical national champions. I can only imagine they'd win. They'd be playing for the NIT title or something as stupid as
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not in
Champions.
tournament.
The NIT
Yeah.
national champion.
What's the
Congratulations.
status of
UCF.
Phil Moffitt? What's the status of Phil Moffitt? Is he going to be healthy because he was?
I
in
don't
and
know.
out of
I don't know. I'm hearing
He
he's
needed
going to be.
that.
He's going to play, as far as I can tell. From what I've heard, he's going to play. But I don't know what his health is going to be like because he's dealt with some. I believe it was a shoulder problem that's been bugging him the last few weeks. So from what I see, he's going to give it a go, but I don't know if he's going to be a factor in
100%.
this
Like
game.
that's the worry.
If he is 100%, he could be a factor in this game because when he is at 100%, he's a problem. But he hasn't been 100% for at least 4 weeks. It's
Yeah,
been
he was
4 weeks
already
since he was
banged.
really effective, and 4 weeks since he was fully 100% healthy. So
if Clemson can't get the run game going, they could really struggle.
Granted, they had 2 weeks to get him back to health, so I assume he's going to play. But I don't know if he's going to be fully healthy. If at best he could be 90% healthy, and that may help them a little bit. But if Clemson's going to want to win this football game, they're going to have to rely on their receiving core, and they got a great receiving core, but very young receiving core.
Yep.
That's going to be an issue for them playing
I
on the road.
like the way Wesco's been playing though. He's been a nice kid.
Wesco's been a dog, man. He's been great to watch. 2 touchdowns against SMU. So
it looks like on Maffa, he's already going to have off-season surgery no matter what.
Might as well let him play.
Yeah, so it's basically just going to be a pain tolerance thing, whether he can get through it or not. So I would guess
the problem is
I would guess he's going to try to go, and if it becomes too much, then he'll come out.
It's a playoff game. You're going to have to at least try. And plus, I believe he's a senior this year, so he's not even. If I'm pretty sure he's a senior, I could be wrong, but I think he's a senior this season for Clemson. I could be totally wrong about that.
I do not know. Yeah, he is a senior. Yeah.
So he's in his last season. Technically, I think he may have 1 more year of eligibility.
Right, he may not be because senior doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right, you never know.
And it's going to mean even less very soon because I don't know if you guys saw, but junior college years no longer count.
Yes,
against
I saw
NCAA
that.
eligibility.
No college eligibility for junior college players. So they get
Diego
2 years.
Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, challenged that, and they ruled that junior college years will no longer count against NCAA eligibility,
What
which
a dumpster
really
fire.
is going to change the dynamic.
That is a huge.
God, you're going to have players playing in their 30s. Seriously.
Or at least their late 20s.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could theoretically go to a junior college for 3 years.
So 2 years they don't even count. You can go to 4-year college after that.
You could redshirt 1, play 2, and then you could go to a 4-year college, redshirt 1
Oh,
4.
Goodness.
You know,
yeah, you could be like
20,
9 years in. 27.
Either a decade.
Yeah.
It's wild. I do think that it's gonna push a lot more recruits to junior college. I mean,
right, because you get 2 years to develop, and then it could be like that minor league pipeline in a way to FBS college football or just college. That is going to be
Diego's my age.
A huge
Diego's
shift
23
towards JUCOs, in my opinion.
Yeah,
or at least for players that have that route, or they're in.
I think it's a massive boon for JUCO.
It's great. Think the competition level potentially there, and just
this is a more like
Steve Sarkisian didn't
broad,
like it.
macroeconomics thing, but think of all the money that is going to be saved on tuition when kids are going to junior colleges instead of D2s on partials. There's gonna be a lot of tuition dollars saved, and the same outcome really as far as what you're getting credit wise.
I mean, we're talking a buttload of money. A buttload.
I think it makes the JUCO route so much more attractive now to kids because, I mean, let's face it, there were some coaches who didn't recruit JUCO kids because a lot of times they came with baggage. They might have a difficult time academically when they got there. Just a lot of coaches just didn't do it. They didn't do JUCO, just like Dabo didn't do the portal. But I think this is going to change the type of player that's in JUCO ball for the to make it a little more diverse group of kids, and I think that it's going to be a higher quality of ball played at that level. And here's the other weird thing that's going to happen in all sports, not just football. I guarantee you, baseball programs are going to partner up D1 baseball programs are going to partner up with JUCOs, and they are going to be operating like de facto minor league
like
programs,
minor league.
where they send them there to develop for 2 years, and then they bring them on up.
Yep.
And that happened with football too. I mean, you had coaches who had pipelines to JUCOs where they had a relationship with the coach, and they could kind of stash a guy there and let him develop and get his academics in order or whatever. And that's going to happen more and more. I wonder if it'll even go as far as like actual partnerships.
Yeah,
why
like,
wouldn't Carolina
full
partner with
affiliates, but kinda,
Spartanburg Methodist?
virtual affiliates for.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to mention one more thing, and I completely forgot about it. Mentioning partnerships. Justin, you mentioned tonight because May River is changed up their partnership.
Did.
They are no longer with Under Armour. They will now be a partnership with Nike. I saw that tonight. I was like, May River's wearing Nike jerseys. That's interesting.
I heard
thought
that
they were Under Armour.
yesterday. I heard about that yesterday, and then you noticed tonight. Hold on, May River's wearing Nike. Don't they usually wear Under Armour? And I said, oh yeah, that now that you mentioned that, I heard yesterday they were switching over. I didn't know it was like right now.
Middle of the year, yeah.
For basketball.
I didn't either. I had no clue.
Yeah.
I guess they had to order basketball uniforms, and they decided they wanted Nike.
Yeah.
But I know some programs have to replace all their uniforms now. So.
Yeah.
All the programs. I mean,
they're all going Nike now.
Notre Dame will win 27-17.
So they get
Georgia. Ended up closer than it was.
Yeah, Indiana scored a little bit there late.
Junk TDs. All right, boys. Well, let's get together tomorrow night. What do you say? We'll talk about some more college football playoffs as well as championship round of the Battery Creek John Drafts Classic, and as well as the second day of the Seahawk Holiday Classic, and a couple other things going on. I think we got Whale Branch at the Ville. So we'll get together tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, probably about 9:30ish, and sounds good. So thanks to everyone who joined us tonight, all of our listeners and viewers, Javon Livingston and the crew at Buford Zone for being out there tonight so we could use your highlights. We appreciate that. Thank you, Marcus, for stopping by in your monkey suit. We always love to see you all dapper. Gotta
get a menswear sponsor.
Right.
I mean, too bad Hager still doesn't exist. That's where I got all these dress clothes.
That's where I got mine.
Great store. Great store.
Fantastic
So bummed they
store.
went out of business.
We got to get Indochino. They're big in the podcast space. Go order online. You get your use a rope and a yardstick, as they say on the Kornheiser show. But no, you can go get measured at a tailor and then send your measurements in, and they'll make you a custom suit. But
there you go.
I've been thinking about that, but I don't want to wear a suit, so I don't like that. It's not my style. I'm not down with that. So thank you, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. Thanks to all of our sponsors, especially the OGs, Mickelson Law Firm. And thanks to everybody who listens or watches. We appreciate you. And we'll see you tomorrow night, 9:30ish on the LowcoSports Lowdown, right here on the Lowco Media Network. So for Max Araj, Wes Kerr, and Marcus Walsh, WHHI TV, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
The LowcoSports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.